Hello there. 2020 was a year. It was a year. So obviously a weird year for all of us, and we all had our own stuff going on. So here's the 7 things that I learned in 2020, because it was a weird year. First thing, there are things in my life that I thought that I loved, but it turns out I don't, like volleyball. And to be clear, really just indoor volleyball. Beach is a whole other thing, and I still love that. And it's like, I just want to do that all the time. But playing indoor volleyball, I used to do it 4 days a week, and then I would coach twice a week. And I just thought, like, that's the thing that I love doing. It's my hobby. It's how I unwind from working. And I still think that's true, but it's not, I don't really miss it. I miss hanging out with those people. I miss like going to the pub with my friends after and chatting with them. And I think that certainly the exercise that I get from volleyball is beneficial to my life. And there's a bit of release there when you're just like crush a ball and you're like, yes. But I don't think that it was the big, I don't know. I don't love it as much as I thought I did. So that was interesting to learn. I learned that crisis doesn't change people. It just amplifies who they already are. I learned that about myself in that I just worked because that's what I like to do. And I felt like months would go by and I hadn't reached out to family and friends, and I just got really absorbed into my own little world. And I think that that was true for a lot of people because a lot of people had a lot going on. I mean, I think we all had a lot going on. We're all busy people. Busy seems to be a badge of honor almost. And so I think we were all really absorbed in our own worlds. And so, yeah, it was just sort of more of who I am, which I guess isn't surprising. I think we saw that in the world too, where, you know, people who are compassionate and who are kind and generous people became more so trying to help other people. And the people who were scared or who were blaming everybody for their problems, they just did that more. So we really just were more of who we are in 2020. I learned again that it's hard to change the way that you connect with people. I learned this when I moved from Calgary to Ottawa, but if you have a relationship with somebody where it's strictly based on seeing them on a regular basis, like the people I play volleyball with, I see, you know, in some cases I would see them 3 days a week. And now I don't have that, so I don't see them, but our relationship was 100% in person. And so trying to change that from in person to online or just like over phone or whatever has been really hard. And like I know that's true from moving from Calgary to Ottawa. I think that like there's people that I used to literally see 3 days a week and now talk to, I don't know, maybe a text message here or there every few months. And I think like, of course, it's partly my fault. Again, I just became more of who I am, which is recluse, introverted, I don't know. Not very good at reaching out to people. And, you know, people said, oh, well, you know, people didn't reach out to you either. But I think if we all say that, then nobody's talking to anybody. And it sort of goes back to that we all got really sucked into our own stuff this year. And that I think a lot of us felt that way. You know, people aren't reaching out to me either. But then it would be weeks and would go by and we'd sort of like lift our head up and be like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe a whole month has gone by. Like, where did October go? So yeah, it's hard to change the way that or the mode of connection with people. And I think that was just worsened by all the crap that was happening this year. On the flip side, it's amazing how adaptive people are. Like, the businesses and like we all went to a socially distanced community really fast. Like businesses figured it out. And it's like, I'm not saying that was easy or even equitable, like why the big stores are still open when the little guys can't be. A discussion for another day. But it was fast. Like, it was really fast, and we all figured it out. You know, Zoom calls started happening, and we started figuring out how to play games with each other online, and you know, just like figuring out how to do it when we have this new restriction imposed. And I think that that's just true about creativity in general, that like, as soon as you have a restriction and it's not just you can do whatever you want, it's easier to be creative because you have like something to jump off of. So I think that was probably part of the case. But yeah, that happened fast. Any illusionment or illusion that I had for myself of, you know, if I just had more time, I'd be able to do blank, insert whatever. It's not true. I had more time this year, and all I did was fill it with the things that I was already doing, like work and watching TV. I didn't do anything that I like. If only I had time, I would be like, I don't know, working out every day, or like I'd learn a new language. I mean, I'm doing my French app, but I'm really not like committed, like doing it, I guess. I'm just building vocabulary. I'm getting off topic, but it's like all of those things that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing if I just had time. No, that's not the problem. So that's unfortunate, because now I have to figure out what the problem actually is. Sixth thing, I think this is the sixth thing. Fear is really dangerous, like really dangerous. People do a lot of weird stuff when they're scared, and they don't really think it through. Like, smart people have been believing things that are just not true. Like, we got sucked into conspiracy theories and stuff this year, and it's just like I understand that we're scared. I understand that, but man, I mean, we saw a lot of that in 2020, like the anti-mask rallies or the run on TP in March. Like, those things are very different scenarios, but we were very, very divided this year. And I think that a lot of it had to do with fear, and you know, we're just not really thinking it through. And we're all sitting at home and we have social media, and you know, like, that always perpetuates fear. So fear is dangerous. And the last thing, which was actually learned by Ryan, but he donated it to my list, probably unknowingly. Watching US politics. Basically, we've learned that there's no such thing as consequences for your actions. You can just be crazy and then like nothing happens, apparently. I don't know that that's actually true. I think you have to be a powerful person for that to work. And that was probably true all the time, which means we probably just amplified who we are already as a society, as well as individuals. What do you mean you can't believe I stole you? You donated it. I don't think he knows that he donated it. He knows now. Are you coming over?
No, I gotta go.
All right. Well, we'll see you.
Outraged, and I'm burning my quesadilla.
So, 7 things I learned this year. I think all of them were somehow surprising and not surprising at the same time. You know, like they all make sense when you're looking back at it. Like, but I wouldn't have expressed any of those things before this year. I would love to know what you learned in 2020. Let me know in the comments. What did you learn? Could be anything. I'd love to know. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you what I learned from doing lives every day for a whole year. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Don't stay tuned. Tune back in, because it's going to be tomorrow. We'll see ya.